Hi, folks. This is an introduction to the oral presentations for ISBT211 instrumentation and measurement. As I mentioned very early on, back in August when we were going over the original syllabus for the course, part of the course towards the end of the course, which is November, and we're here now, is to have you guys put together a presentation on an instrument of your choice. Now, I have a short little handout that sort of goes over what I'm looking for in this presentation, and we'll go over that in a few moments. And of course, it's listed on our Canvas site. Obviously, as we're experimenting with taking this course hybrid or online, where we have the lecture portion of the course here on Canvas, and we are only meeting face-to-face for laboratory sessions, it's going to require us to experiment with what fits best. So we can decide to meet again during the particular times on Tuesdays and Thursdays for a presentation day, or we can probably decide to get a few presentations out of the way before we actually do the lab for the last few labs that we meet for during this semester. We don't have that many students and that many presentations to go over. So think about that as far as how you think we want to run this. Do we want to particularly name a day, a particular Tuesday morning, or name a day, a particular Thursday morning when we'll actually show up down in H163 and have the presentations be put up on the big board? Of course, it works best when we have an audience. So if we do decide to meet again in 163, I'm all for it. But we need to make sure that we all commit to being there. If not, we can probably get these things busted out during lab time. So with that, let me pull up the document here. Maybe do a few clicks here and make sure it's working. And I'm going to go ahead and screen share my screen and hide that. Fantastic. So again, this is just a PDF of the document that's available underneath this particular broadcast. I of course can read this to it, but I'm only looking for a 5 to 10 minute oral presentation. I do wish you to create an electronic support for your presentation. So in the past, we've had folks that have come through and they had audio visual devices to show it to everybody. They had a sample smoke alarm or a sample CO2 alarm or whatever, and they showed how it worked and how you put the batteries in, and that's just fine, and maybe that's even part of your presentation. But because in ISBT we spend so much time presenting electronically, I'd like to go ahead and ask you and require you to put together a presentation. As far as what the presentation software you need to use, that's up to you. Of course, PowerPoint is probably the #1 way to do things. Google happens to have a version. Of course, you guys know I'm a Prezi addict. You can get a free account under Prezi and use Prezi. You could even just put together some slides or some information in Microsoft Word and then just show those Word pages on the screen if you'd like. Again, it's up to you to choose what measure of electronic device you'd like to use. So again, I'd like you to go ahead and make a digital presentation file and show it to the rest of the group while you're describing what your instrument is. I'd also like you to send me a copy of that file so I can archive it. I have a pretty good collection of what folks have presented in the past. And as you can see here, I also would like you to put together a 1-page written summary on your presentation. So it's an involved thing. The 5 or 10 minutes of actually talking in front of class is kind of short compared to what I'm asking you to do putting together this project. So it depends on what you'd like to do. Some example topics that we've had in the past, you are more than welcome to do them again. Measuring blood pH, measuring blood glucose levels. There's lots of different competing ways to do that, especially for folks who have the condition of being diabetic. These are all just examples. Climate control systems, carbon dioxide monitoring. I will mention that probably the #1 thing that folks have worked on is blood alcohol content monitors, breathalyzer tests for folks who have been pulled over, while driving to check their sobriety. You're welcome to do that. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to have an electronic sign-up sheet underneath this particular section on Canvas so that we don't have folks duplicating their instruments. It's sort of a bummer when when 3 or 4 folks all choose a breathalyzer, and you happen to be the 4th person that gets up in front of your colleagues and presents the same breathalyzer information, it's no fun. So we're definitely going to make sure that folks sign up with their instrument, and then make sure that we don't duplicate. So what I'm looking for, I'm looking for 8 specific things in your presentation. Some folks have taken this literally and actually put together 8 slides. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. It's pretty obvious what I've written here. When you do choose an instrument, I need you to present to the rest of the group what you're measuring. Obviously, if it's a smoke alarm, you're measuring smoke. If it's a carbon dioxide detector, you're measuring carbon dioxide. Sometimes what you're measuring is very, very obvious, but I'd like you to state it anyway. Sometimes what you're measuring is not so obvious. It's sort of buried in the name of the device. We've been talking all semester about the physical properties of transducers. So I'd like you to describe what types of transducers and what are they and how do they work inside your instrument? How does this instrument do what it needs to do? We've talked about noise and interference, things that could confuse your instrument, give false alarms, give false positives, or perhaps mask something that really is there, but you can't see it because of the interference and the like. Usually, if you go online and look for your instrument, the manufacturer or the people who use it will give you a measure of the accuracy and precision of the measurement. If it turns out that what you've picked, they do not specifically say what the accuracy and precision of the measurement is, then you're welcome to go ahead and say, I'd like to see a slide or a presentation stopping point on accuracy and precision. But if you don't have a measurement, just tell everybody, hey, they didn't disclose this. If it happens to have a calibration procedure that you need to do as a user, how do you go about calibrating it? I'd like to see that. Things like detection limit, how low can you go? Dynamic range, how high can you go? These are all things that we've covered inside class. If you are picking something that's not experimental and happens to have, you can go pick it up at Walmart or buy it online, a list of the commercial manufacturers and where you can buy this. And since you've already slogged through steps 1 through 7, and you pretty much know, what this instrument is doing now, I'd like you to go ahead and sort of guess, or at least look at the manufacturers and see what's coming up in the future for this particular measurement. Again, I'm going to be grading you guys on how well you hit and relate each of these 8 points. I'm not going to be grading you on how professional your presentation is. It's not a presentation in front of strangers. It's a presentation in front of us. So no, you don't need to put on your best presentation interviewing clothes and then talk in front of a whole bunch of business professionals. It's just going to be us. So with that, I'll stop the screen share of this particular document. The document is available for you to download and take a look at. And soon afterwards, I'll be able to put up a sign-up sheet. Once we figure out where and when we're going to present these things, maybe I'll put up a poll to get back your guys' idea as far as how we best do that. But I will put up a sign-up sheet so I can get an idea of what you like to present on, so you can snag a particular topic. If it turns out that you pick a topic and you find out later on after doing some research that there's just not enough information to present on this, you're more than welcome to change your topic. The reason why we're putting these topics down is so that no one doubles up on the topic that you already have. So with that, I think that's an introduction to our presentation. I hope this thing is working out pretty well now that we've flipped the classroom and gone hybrid. Get you guys feedback. See you in a little bit. Thanks.